2 years ago, my mother, my sister, and I went on a hike through the jungle in the former Mayan region in Belize. As we were driving back, we met a native woman walking back from her job. It was a long distance between the remote forest reserve she was working at and the nearest village. We stopped and offered her a ride. When she got in, I thought of her as a poor villager with a boring job and her day being the same as any other. Turns out, I was wrong. We asked about her life. Maria wakes up each day at dawn and walks 6 kilometers to her job. On her way there, she sees jaguars passing and pythons slithering across the dusty road and grass. Her family runs a small shop selling different kinds of handmade goods. After I dropped her off, I never saw Maria again, but her story sticks with me to this day. We met on a crossroads and parted our own ways, continuing our stories after our paths crossed. Everyone is living a story of their own. You are so engrossed in our own world, our own story. We often fail to acknowledge the walking books around us. The importance of knowing other people's stories is that it can help us become better people and have a more accurate image of that individual. When we see people in school, on the street, in the supermarket, on the subway, we tend to create an image of that individual, an image that is often distorted because of a lack of information. A young woman in her 20s is holding a placard. Justice for some is not justice. Just another protester, a rebel, extremist, or something more. A person on the street, looking like they hadn't had a shower in weeks, holding out their dirty hand, asking for €1, is just another beggar. An old man sitting by himself with a walking stick by his side. We only look so deep as his wrinkles, his gray hair. We don't look past his walking stick. We don't see who they are beneath the surface. We can't imagine how they got there. Possibly, the beggar is after all a parent who lost their job due to COVID and has no other resort but to beg on the streets to support their family. The old man is a survivor of the concentration camps organized by the Nazi, whose family died in front of him. Not only is story sharing eye-opening, but it can also teach us certain values which we would have never learned without listening. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I came up to my grandmother, a woman who lived during the Soviet Union times, in my favorite dress, all yellow with white butterflies in it, and asked her, what was your favorite dress when you were little like me, Grandma? And what she said next made me change my perspective of the advantages I was offered in my life forever. She said something along the lines of, funny you ask, it was actually a military print dress made from the scraps of a parachute used in the war. You know, we didn't have much then. Had to use anything we could find. Today, there are many people like my grandmother who lived and are living through such hardships even worse than that. Hearing what another person has been through can enable us to be more motivated in what we do with our own lives. We have all heard of people like Helen Keller, the first deafblind woman to earn a Bachelor of Arts, Vincent van Gogh, who only sold 1 painting in his lifetime, Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty in rural Mississippi by a teenage mother, Stephen Hawking, who couldn't be sidetracked by ALS, and the list goes on. What made those people unique, and what makes them stand out, is that they followed their passions, and so should we. So, on a final note, while writing our own stories and listening to the stories of others, the crossroads of humanity is headed to becoming a much more interesting and an inspiring place, a place where we can come together and learn about each other.